Pay the price. Several years ago, I was wanting to have greater success in my career, with my diet, my health, my exercise routines, and my relationship. And my mentor told me, Amy, you've got to figure out what the price is for what you want, and you have to be willing to pay the price. And not someone else's price, the price for you, because those aren't always going to be the same thing. As I look back now in hindsight, that mentor was completely right. At that time, I was wanting to lose weight, and I was going to the gym almost every single day, and I was cooking almost all of my meals at home, eating very healthy, but I wasn't getting the results I wanted, and I was really frustrated. I was saying, there's the men in my life, or even some of the women in my life that are maybe a little younger, or they have a different body type, and they're doing so much less than I am, and yet they're losing weight and getting these results, and I'm not, and that's so unfair, and that's unjust. And this mentor said, you've got to stop looking at what other people's price is, figure out the price for you and pay it. And what I realize now in hindsight, looking back on that experience, I was going to the gym, but I was doing the elliptical and the stationary bike. I was not sprinting, running on the treadmill. I wasn't doing any sort of strength training. I wasn't mixing in core workouts or doing cross training. And if anything, I was reading books while I was on the stationary bike. I was texting or Googling or social mediaing in the elliptical. I was not really gunning full out during these workouts. And then when I did go out and eat at a restaurant, I might have gotten a salad. I would load it up with lots of caloric dressing. I would still have beer and wine. I wasn't drinking enough water. And I was also not cooking entirely healthy at home. Sure, I was having fish and chicken and vegetables, but I still had bread as a side. Lots of things that I learned were part of the price that I had to pay to get in the shape I wanted. I was cutting corners on and kind of ignoring that, sort of throwing my hands up in the air and saying, why me and why can't it work? But I was not paying the full price. I see this all the time with people. People tell me that they want to have career success and become a senior leader or become more valued and appreciated at work or make more money, but they're not going to conferences or conventions. They're not reaching out to other divisions or departments or teams and finding out what those challenges are and asking if they can help with those. They're not really putting in the hours. They're not getting more than 100% of results. They're just kind of doing the minimum. They're not getting on their boss's calendar and asking what keeps their boss up at night. They're not truly paying the full price and really contributing and making an impact and a difference in the ways that they need to get to where they want to go. And so the bottom line is, when we want something, we have to be willing to pay the price for whatever that thing is, and the full price. And again, not someone else's price, our price. And you can't look at what other people's prices are, because the price just sometimes isn't the same. Life really isn't always fair. Almost always, if I'm not seeing the results I want in any area of my life, I've cut some corners, I've not made all the sacrifices that I need to, and then I'm sitting and lamenting it. The reality is if you want something, it is up to you to figure out what is the price I need to pay and be willing to pay it at all costs, and show the world and the universe and yourself how bad you want it. Final thought on this: the pain of regret is much greater than the pain of discipline. Anytime you're doing something with your business, with your health and fitness, improving your relationship or your family, or just any aspect of your life, oftentimes there are sacrifices involved. You have to be willing to do hard things and make tough decisions and do things you don't want to. And that is gonna take some discipline. It takes some grit, some will, and you being consistent and consistent enough to say, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And that comes with some pain. It means that you have to say no to other things that you want to do. Maybe you have to say no to a happy hour with friends, or just some private alone time, or sometimes an hour or two of your sleep. But the reality is that pain is completely outweighed by the pain of regret. That moment when you're sitting around and looking back at the past and saying, I really should have gotten in better shape for this wedding or this vacation, or, I really could have done a little bit more before my PA to get the score and the rating I deserved so I could get the promotion or the money that I wanted. And I didn't kind of do those things. I wish I had. That's a really tough kind of pain. That pain weighs tons, whereas the other pain really only weighs ounces. So regardless of how painful it might feel in the moment when you're doing the right thing, know that the pain of not doing those things and regretting them is going to be greater. So figure out what you want out of life, be willing to pay the price, know the price for you, not other people, and recognize that it is going to come with some pain. Sacrifices are hard. but ultimately that pain will not be as long-lasting and as severe as the pain of the regret. With that, everybody make a great day. I hope you guys are all doing awesome. Go pay the price today.